Okay, let's take a look at one of the PRISMAsync's kind of a hidden feature. So this is if we want to be able to track like departmental usage or users or things like that, we can do that with the accounting feature. Now, the accounting feature is standard on some PRISMAsync controllers, like the fully equipped imagePRESS controllers. It is optional on the varioPRINTs, and it's optional on the imagePRESS light production, the LP version. So getting right in, first we need to get it set up, and that's going to be go to the IP address of the machine, and it will start you off the media tab. So if the accounting feature is licensed, you will find it under configuration and accounting over on the far right. Now, first thing we have to do is we have to at least enable it. I am currently enabled on mine. After that, the other option down here is if you want to make sure that nothing prints without a valid ID, then enable ID verification. This isn't verifying anybody's actual ID, it's just making sure that they've inputted something that is valid for the system. For the account log file that we're going to start with, you'll have some options here on how it gets formatted, which you have two options, either a semicolon or a comma. I have currently set as a comma. So to get started and to create these codes with their identifications and comments after them, you need to download the accounting file first, and this is going to be the accid.csv file. You'll click on that and download it, and I already have it here, so I'm not going to do it again, but that's a CSV file, and then from there you need to open that with Excel and open. You may be prompted if you're not seeing the CSV files, if it shows that you're just looking for Excel files, to make sure that click for all. Open that guy, and we are delimited. In the next screen, we are delimited by commas, so you'll see that break up into columns. Next, and we don't need to do anything else here, so just click Finish. Now, to note here, this will always start you off at 4312. Don't try to make any sense of it. I haven't found it documented anywhere, but the very next column and all the ones after, row, I'm sorry, the next row and all the ones after them need to be 4313. And account ID, let's spread these out a little bit so we can see what they are. And comment. So account ID, let's just keep it simple. We'll go 1000. And we'll call 1000 will be accounts payable. We'll make 2000 accounts receivable. We'll make 3000 HR, and 4000 we'll call sales. To make this easy, these are all going to be the same code, so we'll just spread that out like that, and that's that. You can add a comment if you wish, and that would be done here. So when you're done with that, just make sure and save that as a CSV file, and it still is UTF-8, and save. Yes, we do want to replace that. Now, back at the PRISMAsync controller, we're going to upload the accounting ID file. We're going to choose it, go back to, let's see, we've got all files and downloads, and there is our ACC ID at 4:45 p.m. That is the right one. We would open that and say okay, but I've already done this, so I don't want to mess up my existing catalog. But okay, and there's nothing there. So going through the rest of these, how this works is the PRISMAsync at the end, at the start of the day, will give you a record of all the previous day's accounts. So this isn't, it's not an on-the-fly thing. It's not something that you'll just, if you're halfway through a shift, you want to see what's been done. That can be done, but it's a little bit convoluted. So just wait for the end of the day and it'll show up. Your options here are the start of the day, the start of the week, or the start of the calendar month. So I've had the system running and a few jobs have been in here. So we're going to download the account log file, and you'll see the ACL. You can use this. The information is in here, but it's kind of clumsy. So we're going to go instead to, this is the one that finished last night. So it doesn't have today's date, it has yesterday's date as the completion of that file. So download that one. And we've already downloaded this once, so I'm just going to let it go as number one. Okay, on that one, and then back to Excel. We'll close this and open the one that we just downloaded. So let's see, we're going to browse because I don't want to look at recents. This one right here. And remember, this one is, let's see, we are delimited. Next, we are semicolons in this case. So the CSV from the accounting is not comma, that's semicolon. So make sure that you got everything here, and then next, and we're going to leave that as general and finish. Now we can see that I'm going to open all these up and then double tap here. Now we can see that if there is a document ID that would show up here, but your job type, start date, time, active time, you'll see that this was a cost center. On this one it was AP, and accounts receivable. So we had two jobs that came in for the account ID of 1,000 and 3,000. And let's see, we have our page count is over here. So it's pretty simple. And it also will show you the size of views, whether it was one side or two side, what the media weight is. There's a lot of information here that most people don't need, but this is the basics of that. So how this looks in the print driver. We're just going to go back to our little splash screen here and go File Print or Control P. Now in the PRISMAsync, we're going to my varioPRINT, which is right there. In the properties of this driver, once the accounting feature has been activated, you will see that feature up here in the top right corner tab. So it's not something that pops up and really screams at you. It just shows up this little tiny tab up in the top right. Accounting information is not complete. But if we go, say, 3,000, that one is valid. Let's see if it'll let me do that without entering a cost or a code. I'm just going to go ahead and print. I don't care if it's the right size or not. And then back to Remote Manager. We can see that job come in. And we're right here. It came in as a printed job. No, it's down here at the bottom. Oh, we're still initializing. Okay, now even though it's still initializing here, we can pop this guy open. We can't change anything because it's in the scheduled queue, but we can see that our accounting ID, even though we entered 3,000, it actually showed up as HR. So that's how this one is going to bill out. I'm going to go ahead and let that print. It's just going on plain paper. Now remember, that's not going to show up here in this file until tomorrow morning. The same holds true if we want to pull a job and submit it directly via Remote Manager. If we pull a job in here, give that a chance to work for a second. After I switch it to my machine, it's connecting, uploading the file. Down here at the bottom in the edit, which will light up here in a second, we again, now the option for accounting when we're working directly in the Remote Manager is going to show up down here. So we'll click on the big orange box and say we want this one to be 2,000. You'll see that that one lit up as HR because that's the designation I have for that account. Click OK on that one and that will start printing. That is the nuts and bolts of how to use the accounting feature. Now it is also designed so that it can be used or linked in with accounting software, bookkeeping software, but we're not going to touch on that. So that is how that's used. Thank you very much for watching.